Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm King POSH, and today we're looking at my master rear-wheel drive drift tune for this 1965 Ford Mustang GT. Here is my share code. Got it? Great. Yeah, I was asked to do this earlier today by somebody that kept on deleting their messages to me, but I was able to get it that they were on Forza Motorsport and they saw my rear-wheel drive drift tune for the Mustang over there, and they said, hey, can you make one for Horizon 5? I said, sure, why not? And then I was going to, message him back, and then he deleted the message, like it was weird. But either way, we're going to talk about this car and why I made it a A-Class 701. I mean, clearly, if you look at everybody else, you can, make this an 800, keep it rear-wheel drive like this person did right here, or you can also make it all-wheel drive with close to 800, or you possibly can get it up to 800 with 1500 horsepower. But I wanted to use it as the lowest possible A, 701. So then people know that you're running rear-wheel drive. All right, people could be like, oh, hey, your car's an A-Class, it's 795 or A800, you're probably all-wheel drive. But when you have an A701, that pretty much says, oh, this person's definitely rear-wheel drive, and this is a rear-wheel drive tune. So that is my explanation of what's going on here. So let's look at my build, show you guys what I did to keep it in the A-Class 701 range. So we have an 8.9 liter V8 giving you 1500 horsepower, and it's a A701. It's crazy. All right, stock drivetrain. All right. Oh yeah, and I totally chromed this thing out. I wanted this thing totally chromed all the way around, blacked out windows. It looks sick. All right. Either way, moving on. All right, just the stock front bumper. It's chrome. Got to have the chrome on there. All right, no spoiler in the back. All right. It's just a stock rear bumper, so the chrome is there. All right, I didn't want to remove it. I wanted it to be there. Okay, and then I just left this as is. I didn't like the options that I had here, and I figured, you guys would probably be painting the car anyways, so I figured I'd just leave it stock on the hood, and it looks good, stock. All right, we got a vintage white wall tire compound. All right, that's what I decided to go with on there. All right, you go with like the vintage race tire compound. It takes you up to a 751. All right, you go to the stock tire. It takes you down to C-Class, and then you wouldn't be able to use it in the open drift lobbies. So, we couldn't do that. So the closest I could get to 701 was using the vintage white wall race, just the tire compound. That's the race tire compound. I was going to say race tire compound, but the one is right beside. Either way. That's what I have on there. Right here, we just got 195s in the front, so they're really, really skinny. Okay, and then the backs, I went with a 275. All right. Of course, I could have went up to an A-Class 705, but what fun is that? I wanted an A-Class 701 class, so this is how we're making this video. Okay, so 275 in the rear. All right, the rims are the stock rims that come with the car. Rarely do it because honestly, if you watch my videos, I usually have the Wet Sport TC 105Ns. It keeps it in the 701 range, but I decided that I wanted the original rims on here just to make it look really like, original. Okay. We got 17-inch rims in the front and 17-inch rims in the rear. You can tell I was looking at putting 19s on this car, but I went down to 17s. Okay, and then I also have the max track width in the rear, just to add stability while this thing's going sideways. I don't know if it really does anything. Doesn't matter. I have just a stock clutch in here. I did look at everything else here. All right, and I could have done this, but when you click this to install it, it's not 701. It goes up to 702. I backed out. I was like, why is it at 702? Came over here, put it right down to here, and it stays at 701. So that's what I did. All right, stock clutch. Okay. It got a 10-speed transmission to handle all that glorious power. All right. And you'll mainly be using probably up to 7th gear or more. Who knows? Depends on if you're drifting down the highway with it. Doesn't matter. It's got a race drive line on there. It's carbon fiber. All right. And it's got a drift differential installed. Okay. And then here we have race brakes on there. All right. Drift springs and dampeners. Anti-roll bars for the front and rear. Both race. No roll cage, none of that. That adds onto your A-Class, but I wanted my 701. And I have a race weight reduction. We were able to get that on there by keeping it in the 701 range. If I take it off, look, I go right down to a B-Class. Can't take in an open drift lobby if it's in B-Class. You got to have A-Class. All right? And the majority of people that are drifting in A-Class open drift lobbies are rear-wheel drive. And there's a majority that are doing it in S1 class. I get that. But the majority of them are in A class. And that's why I made this strictly a 701 A class for you guys. There is no engine upgrades on there. The moment you put this engine in there, and it just instantly gives you that 1,500 horsepower with 1,100 foot-pounds of torque. And you're set. And what blows my mind is that I can do that and keep it in the A class. And I can take it even further down to C class, and so on. I don't even know how low you can go with this with the power, but it's probably like CB, you know. But, yeah, that's the tune. And, I mean, that's the build. Let's get into the tune. This is the tune. Either way. We got 55 and 55 to maximize that slide. Let's look at the gearing of the 10-speed that I did there. We looking? You looking? I'm looking. Pretty crazy, huh? Here, let me just bring it all out there for you guys. As you can tell, everything is really close together as you go up the line. Of course, the top speed is failed. Yep, top speed is failed, but that's okay. It goes to 101 miles per hour if you really want to know. All right? At least that's what it said it did. But we all know that's usually wrong. Here is my alignment. I pulled this alignment from another car in past videos. And it seemed to work really well for a mid-engine car. It's like, you know what? I'll put it on the front-engine car and see how well it does. It's not that bad. It's actually a really fun car, really fun tune. Anti-roll bars are 3250 for both. What I did was I just asked Alexa what was half of 65. And she told me, and I was like, okay, that's what I'll put right down the line. All right. Springs are 955.0 and 936.9. And then lows you can go is 6.9 and 6.9. Okay. Kind of matches the 6.9 right there in the rear on there. I didn't realize that until right now that the 6.9 are the same as the, you know, and it doesn't matter. Moving on. Okay. All right. Dampening is 20, 20, 1 and 1. This is what I use for rear-wheel drive cars. So if you want to do rear-wheel drive tunes on your own, use this dampening numbers right here. You'll love it. All right. It's a night and day change to probably what you're using before. Just saying. No downforce to worry about. Brakes, I just left it at 50 and 100. It stops really, really good. Okay. And then differential is actually 21% acceleration and 0% deceleration. I tried it with 100% deceleration, and I just didn't like how it was handling. So I changed it down to 0, and it seemed to smooth it out just where I wanted it to be. Now, since I showed you guys the gearing, I had to go down and say no to this. It's still there. The tune's still there. It's all the way through there. You know, just by changing the bars around, showing you guys what I'm doing, it pops that up. Just say no when you're doing those kind of things. And that is the tune. That is the build. As you can tell, I haven't even touched any of this stuff on here. All right. But, yeah, I chromed this thing out myself. We're going to take it outside. But I chromed it, you know, got the chrome on there. It looks really good. I did the, you know, the darkest tint possible. And I just think it looks absolutely sick. And, yeah, so that's what I did. All right, let's take her outside and show you guys what she can do. All right, and she absolutely shines in the sun. All right, people beware, you may get blinded. You got to be easy with this one, though. It's on the extreme category. Alright, so you get it sideways enough to get your points and stay there. Alright? But I really work this gearing out for you guys so then you can run, you know, any track. Long tracks, short tracks, cathedral, through the tunnels. You'll be alright with this thing. Alright, just take your time around the turns with this thing. You know, it is wild, but it is tuned to soak up points. Just to let you know. It does do very well. Alright, but yeah, just take your time with this thing and she'll help you. Sure, that's what I'll go with. Does do great off the track there. There's a 42-1 right there. I mean, it is a points tune. And it's probably one of the best handling rear-wheel drive Mustangs with 1,500 horsepower I've ever used. Now we're going to take it down the straight here. Show you all those gears that I was talking about. Great thing about the 1,500 horsepower in this thing, it's all torque. It really is. And, you know, it's not hard redlining. Like I said, there's the 7th gear, and I said in the earlier of the video, this is pretty much what you'd be using. I don't think you're going to go up to 8th. You know, you can, but as you can tell, it really was happy at 7th gear right there. But yeah, this thing's a beast. It looks good. I like the white wall tires on there. Really gives it that, you know, old school, you know, look. And I mean, wow, it's an old school car, you know, it's an old school muscle car. So why not have a massive V8, lots of power, lots of torque, just like the old ones would have. You know, your grandfather's, you know, sports car in the garage, it's collecting dust, you know. A dragster at heart, you know, but this thing, it's meant to go sideways. Yep, it's been reborn to do something different. Yeah, this thing's wild. Hit that. And when you crash, you can really see the damage that it does. When you have chrome, I mean, it really shows it. And I think that's pretty cool too. But yeah. I'm glad I did hit that wall, because I wanted to talk about that, because I hit the wall before when I was tuning, and I was like, that's so cool, you can see everything. I'm like, you know, because usually when you have the car painted, you know, it looks damaged, but it doesn't look damaged. But when you have it completely chromed out, it's a different story. I mean, it's all mirrored out, you know, it's wild. But this thing's an absolute beast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this tune. Let me know in the comments below of what you think about it. I'd love to hear from you guys. But hey, until then, stay sideways, my friends.